Hey, wrestling fans, this is Barry Horowitz, Mr. Technical. When you want to listen to the best podcast ever, listen to Infinite Banter with Mark, the host. He's the man. And if you don't believe me, ask me. Pat yourself on the back and go listen to him. He's the man.
Infinite Banter Podcast, baby.
Here it is, another episode of the Infinite Banter Podcast. What is happening? My name is Mark Jolliffe, also known as DJ Soundwave. Really excited to do this episode here. Going to talk to the man himself, the one and only Barry Horowitz. Wrestling fans, you've been watching wrestling for a long time. You know this man. You know his work. I grew up in the 80s, the mid-80s, watching wrestling. And Barry Horowitz is one of those guys that when I put on a wrestling challenge or wrestling spotlight on Saturdays, or even primetime wrestling before it became Raw, Barry Horowitz is one of those guys. You'd see him out there. You'd see Iron Mike Sharp. You'd see SD Jones, Barry O. A lot of those guys, they'd pop up on my TV screen, and they'd be wrestling some of the greatest names in the business. And Barry Horowitz stood out because he had a lot of things that he was doing besides actual wrestling. He had the suspenders, so he had a different look. He would pat himself on the back anytime he got a move off. And it drew a reaction from the crowd. So, as a fan, he was very memorable. Somebody I always liked watching. If I saw that, he's going to wrestle, Ricky Steamboat or something, you knew there was going to be a good match on your television that afternoon. So, really excited to have him on the show. We're going to talk about his career. He's got a book out there. You can find it on Amazon. The book is called Wrestling is My Gimmick, My Life on the Wrong Side of the Three Count. So definitely go check it out. I'll put links into the show notes here when you're listening to this episode as I'm talking. And definitely go check out Barry. And it really was a blast to talk to him. So there's a lot to get to. Stay tuned for that. Also, there's an Infinite Torture in this episode where I talk about the movie Body Slam. So a lot to get to. But we're going to do a flashback. Now we're going to do a different kind of flashback instead of playing a flashback from the last episode. And by the way, go ahead and play that episode. Big up to my man Money Stacks, who's on the episode talking about his new single, On the Grind, and also previewing some music he's got coming out. Definitely go back and check out that episode. But I talk about with Barry because he came up in the Florida wrestling scene, and B. Brian Blair, who's been on the show a couple times, also came up on the Florida wrestling scene. So I brought up, Brian Blair and how they, might have worked together, and they did. So I talked about, a rib, which is basically like a prank that, wrestlers would do that to each other, quite often. And Brian Blair talked about an incident with him, Andre the Giant, and Dusty Rhodes in a car. It's very funny. And I thought, you know what? I talk about it in the interview. Why don't I just play it here so that, when that part of the interview comes up, you know what I'm talking about. You're prepared. You already know what I'm talking about. Because I'm not going to assume everybody listening has heard that episode. But Brian Blair was on twice. He was a great guest. Feel free to go check out those episodes. But here's a clip from my conversation with B. Brian Blair talking about a crazy drive with Dusty Rhodes and Andre the Giant here on the Infinite Banter Podcast. Flashback.
Dusty says to me, he says, people, he always called me Beeper. He said, people, listen, you need to go to the liquor store and you need to pick us up some alcohol. You need to get the Giant 2 bottles of Crown Royal, 2 of the big bottles. Get him a case of Budweiser. And I'm just listening, just thinking, oh, God, that's a lot of alcohol. And he says, get me a case of Lone Star. And he said, you drive and you can get a 6-pack of any kind you want. So he hands me a couple $100 and I go to the liquor store and get everything that he wanted. Before I left too, he told me, he said, pick up a cooler. He said, we're going to Greenville, Mississippi. And he said, it's going to be very, very cold, very cold. And we might not want to pee outside. We might want to pee in the cooler. I said, okay.
It's so crazy.
So I did as he said,
right.
Did as he said, went to the liquor store, picked up the 2 bottles of Crown Royal, the case of Budweiser, case of Lone Star, and I forget what kind of 6-pack I got. I got some kind of 6-pack, and we get in the car. It's great listening to the stories. We start heading up, and Now it's a little bit cooler. It's about an hour later. It's maybe an hour and a half, 1:30, 2 o'clock. And we got about 220 miles to go, and straight north from Jackson, Mississippi. And, I'm kind of worried because I didn't want to tell them that my heater was broken. So, I had a defroster and it kind of cleared the window, but the actual heater didn't work, and I'm waiting for them. But the whole time up there, they're drinking. They don't say a word about the heater, and I'm kind of cool. I got a big thick jacket on, and I'm driving and just listening to those guys playing some country and western music, Hank Williams Jr. and just having a good time. I'm laughing, laughing, and a few times in the cooler, we get up to pull into the arena there, get the giant Dusty says, "Hey, people," he said, "listen, we're going to be on last, and you're going to be on earlier, so get the car warmed up." He said, "The showers are really shitty here, so we're just going to come straight in, and we're going to head straight on." He said, "You can shower, get a six-pack." I said, "Okay, Dream." So he hands me and $100. So I go have my match, and I go to the liquor store and get everything that he wanted. Before I left, he told me, he said, "Pick up a cooler." He said, "We're going to trying to get the car as warm as I possibly can." I had a few people actually jump in, and people that I knew tried to warm the pee outside.
You gotta do what you gotta do, right? I mean,
I got everything ready, and here they come. Matches are over. Boom, boom. They come in, pop the trunk, the bags go in the trunk. Dusty goes immediately right in the back. The boss opens up the front door. Hey, boss, I got some kind of six-pack. All smiles, we had a sold-out crowd. Everybody's happy, and we start heading up and riding the pine in the middle there, so we can talk to Andre. Andre's up front, and I'm driving along. Maybe an hour and a half, 1:30, 2 o'clock. We're just everybody's drinking. We got about Dusty's being the bartender. Miles to go. And Andre has to pee. From Dusty has to pee. Jackson, Mississippi. And I'm kind of worried because I didn't want to tell him that my heater was broke. I don't know who said what, but I had a defroster, really funny, and Andre leans forward, and as he leans forward towards my dashboard, the whole time up there, he leans backwards and hits the back of the seat breaks and falls right on Dusty's lap, where he happens to have the cooler, and he's dumping piss from his McDonald's in there, and the whole cooler of pee mixed up urine goes all over Dusty, and he starts cutting a promo on me. Goddamn, people, man, you just peed on American Dream. I can't believe you did that, man. God damn, you be blackballed. Listen, we're going to be on last, and you're going to be on laughing so hard, and then he's telling me to turn my heater on. It's really shitty here, because he's just going to come straight in. I'm going to head straight back to Jackson. We'll shower at the hotel. I've never seen Andre belly laugh like that. So I go so hard in my life. It's just amazing. When it's time, amazing.
You became the American Stream.
I watch couples head back to the car, trying to get the car as warm as I possibly can. I had a few people actually jump in, a couple people that I knew try to warm the car.
But you gotta do what you gotta do, right? I mean,
I got everything ready, and so here they come. Matches are over. Boom, boom. They come in, pop the trunk. The bags go in the trunk. Dusty goes immediately right in the back. The boss opens up the front door. Hey, boss. Hey, guys. It's all smiles. We had a sold-out crowd. Everybody's happy. And Dusty's riding the pine in the middle there so he can talk to Andre. Andre's up front, and I'm driving along. And, we're just everybody's drinking, and Dusty's being the bartender. And Andre has to pee, and Dusty has to pee, and again, and somebody says something. I don't know who said what, but it was really, really funny. And Andre leans forward, and as he leans forward towards my dashboard, he leans backwards and hits the seat. The back of the seat breaks and falls right on Dusty's lap, where he happened to have the cooler, and he's dumping piss from his McDonald's cup in there. And the whole cooler of pee, mixed up urine, goes all over Dusty, and he starts cutting a promo on me. God damn, people, man, you just peed on American Dream. I can't believe you did that, man. God damn, you're going to be blackballed. And Andre's laughing so hard, and then he's telling me to turn my heater on. said it's cold. And I said, I got it on, Dusty, because he's got urine all over him. Now he's cold. Oh gosh. And I've never seen Andre belly laugh like that so hard in my life. You know, it's just amazing. Amazing.
You became the American Stream, it sounds like.
The American Stream. I like it.
First of all, that's a great Dusty impression you've been doing. Not to overlook that. Definitely go back and check out that episode I did with B. Brian Blair. It was in 2023. We were talking about his book, Tales from the B-Side. A lot of fun talking with him. And even back in 2019, when I first started doing, this podcast, it might have been early 2020. I talked to B. Brian Blair then as well. We talked a lot about WrestleMania 3 and coming up in business and the whole Killer Bees gimmick and everything. So if you like wrestling, and I assume if you're still pressing play in this episode, you do, go back and check out those episodes of B. Brian Blair, and that flashback hopefully gets you excited to check it out. He was a lot of fun to talk to. But on today's episode, we got the one and only Barry Horowitz to talk about his time in wrestling, his new book, and everything else here on the Infinite Banter podcast, the show that you can find on all platforms. Rate and review it. You can go on YouTube. You'll find clips on there. There's episodes. There's the Things and Stuff videos where I review toys. And some of these Super 7 toys that I've reviewed, you can find on the sponsor of the show, super7.com/Infinite Banter podcast. Make sure you check out the Spotify playlist and do all those things to help repost and like the show. Appreciate all the support. All right, we got a lot to get to. Barry Horowitz is here. We've got an infinite torture. For those who don't know what that is, it's when I force myself to watch something I normally wouldn't watch or I perceive to be bad. And I came across a movie called Body Slam. And it's about wrestling and I guess rock and roll, but I'm not sure. It's starring Dirk Benedict and Rowdy Roddy Piper. And I came across it on Pluto TV. It's free for those who want to watch it. And I was like, you know what? It'd be a good time to talk about this movie in an episode where I'm also talking to Barry Horowitz. So this is jam-packed with wrestling stuff. So let's get into it. Barry Horowitz is here. We got an Infinite Torture segment. But before we do anything, the show never begins until the one and only, the King from Queens, DMC, gets on. He says this, and now it's official.
Yo, what's up? This is me, DMC, the K-I-N-G, the greatest MC in history. And right now, you're listening to Infinite Banter, because we will banter on forever, because this is the only place for all of y'all to ever be. I be Infinite Banter.
You're tuned into the Infinite Banter podcast. I am Mark Jolliffe, and I'm really excited to bring on my guest. Wrestling fans know our guest from his long career in WWE, Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, WCW, and countless matches with many legends in the industry. Welcome to the show from St. Petersburg, Florida, the one and only Barry Horowitz. What's going on, Barry?
Mark, I'm doing excellent. Wow. I'm blushing from the intro.
I tried to do my best Howard Finkel. I don't know if I worked it out that way, but I was watching a couple of your matches, and St. Petersburg really stuck out as your city of origin. We know when they call you out.
That's true. Yep, that's where most of my schooling was, and Tampa, Florida was, of course, my training background and playground, if you will, for pro wrestling. As far as my amateur career, was all done in St. Pete, starting with a youth center, junior high, high school, went on to FSU, and then I pursued professional wrestling.
What age were you when you first started getting into pro wrestling? Was that after high school, during college? You said during college a little bit?
No. After I did all that, I transported myself to the Northeast where Mr. Malenko, the great Malenko, and the greatest trainer ever. Am I being partial? Yes. But it's a shoot.
Yeah.
He's the greatest ever. I've seen other people get trained and they don't come near him. And maybe it's a combination of just got done eating egg whites with pepper.
Oh, there you go.
Yes. Excuse me. They're gone now.
In case anybody wanted to know how to stay healthy, like Barry Horowitz.
Yeah. Oh,
eggs and
God.
pepper.
Anyway, let's see. We were going, so we're talking about the Malenko, and I got turned around there. Sorry.
No, you're talking about how he's one of the greatest as far as like just getting guys ready. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. As far as building the foundation of my house, the best. And as far as like my amateur career, finished it and then met him. So I preceded pro wrestling at an early age of probably 13 or 14, which it was just a dream. And it wasn't a pipe dream. It wasn't, I want to be a stuntman or a magician or this. I know myself when I'm set on something, I don't stop until I get it.
There you go. And people know you from your work, and you've been doing this for so long. when you were in Florida. Now, I've had B. Brian Blair on the show a couple times. How often did you guys run into each other in those Florida days, and of course later on in the WWF, WWE era? B. Brian Blair from the Killer Bee?
Oh, yeah. Brian, I first met. By the way, let's just get back to my first name was Barry Hart. Malenko gave that to me.
Oh, that's right. That was one of my questions. You know, your transition from Barry Hart to Barry Horowitz, and I think there's another Hart version you had in there in between too. So
yeah, it went Barry Hart, Bret Hart, Jack Hart, Barry Horowitz. Oh yeah, we could also throw in, since everybody knows, the infamous Red Knight.
Oh God, how could you forget that? That's the one that you can't overlook. But
yeah,
was that crazy though? Because there's a Bret Hart, in WWF at the time. Were you guys together at the same time? Was there like two Bret Harts? Was that a conflicting thing?
No, they changed my name immediately.
Oh, I see.
I never met Bret, and there was a little bit of heat there, but I think when Bret got to meet me, proof was in the pudding. He seen I wasn't an idiot. I was basically, if you want to get really technical, speaking, Mr. Technical Barry Horowitz.
Yeah.
We're all technical wrestlers. The whole Hart Foundation, extremely technical. Bret and Owen, myself. The list goes on and on. The Armstrongs, Tim Horner, Tom Zink, Rick Martel. We can go on and on with technically sound technicians.
Without a doubt. And that goes into, how guys like yourself were in the, wrestling industry for as long as you were. You've got to have that foundation, right? And it goes back to Malenko, like you said, the training and the start of it all, right? And I'd mentioned before that since you, kind of cut your teeth in Florida, I'm guessing you and B. Brian Blair, you kind of had some interactions back then.
Yes, I first met him. Talked to, let's see, let me think. Yeah, that was the first place. Of course, he's from there also. And we got along really good. I had matches with him. I had indie shows with Brian. And of course, we both transcended to the WWF. And I know Brian a long time. Great guy, great athlete, great wrestler.
Yeah, without a doubt. He's definitely one of my favorites. I read his book recently and had him on the podcast here, and the stories he had about ribbing and everything. And I might as well just ask you while I'm talking to you about it. Were you in any of those ribs? Were you part of that? Or was there a rib that you saw that you can't believe to this day that happened? I'm sure you saw quite a bit of ribbing back in those days.
Yeah, I'll give you a definition. I'll give you a whole scenario of the rib situation. First of all, it went along because the business isn't what it is now. I don't know if they still do that. A joke here or there, but hardcore ribbing, there's hardcore, and then there's Terry Taylor heat, which is, he's a heat seeker. You don't want that kind of heat
right.
You're just getting your suitcases chained up, and who knows, your rent-a-car is missing tires. I don't know, but I was involved in, never ribbed too much, verbally joking around. Did I get ribbed? Of course. Did I know about it? No, because I'm in the ring.
Right.
And you can't assume. And depending on the pecking order, if somebody does a rip and you rip it and you sell it, first of all, you look like an idiot. Don't put it over. You're not being a coward. And it could get you fired. And then nobody cares about you, but they're laughing like, wow, dude got himself fired over a rib. So it's not that I was afraid of the ribs. You got to understand, this is my childhood dream since 13. And you rib me and hide my clothes or something of that nature, or you try to put a breakfast bill on my hotel bill and stuff like that. It's meaningless, really. I just, like I said, I wasn't afraid of nothing, but if I guarantee you, if there was physical things to go by, the pecking order I would have been fired or whatever, most likely.
Right. And they better not hide your suspenders or anything, right? I mean, that would have been a big problem. Put them
What's that?
If they took your suspenders and put them in a tree or something, we would.
No, I could care less.
Okay.
I wasn't ribbed that hard, and then some of these ribs are made up. I don't care what some of these so-called people say, because I'll admit to stuff. I don't care. I've got nothing to hide, but I know the real rib. So, and to this day, I don't put them over. Don't put them over. Why? I got bigger things to do. I got bigger fish to fry than these jabronis.
There you go. Speaking of ribbing, though, I mean, is that what led to the Dynamite Kid and was it a Jacques Rougeau altercation?
Now that's a different story. Now,
Yeah.
see, that's called hardcore ribbing and a little bit of, I really don't like your ass.
Ah, I see.
See, so I think I don't know the particulars, the details, because you got to understand when I get to the building early, I'm getting dressed, I'm warming up, I'm stretching, going over my match. I say hello to everybody. As far as what I see and stuff, I'm not a stooge. I don't tell on people. That's not what I'm there for. Okay. And I seen different things. Some things were talked about, some weren't. It's just like sometimes on my interviews and my podcast and my book that's out on Amazon, I don't use people's names for two reasons. Well, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, especially if I don't like you, I'm not putting you over in my book. It's all about my life and my career.
There you go.
I'm not going to put you over. Now, do I want to put somebody over like a Bob Backlund or a Brian Blair or a Steve Kern? The list goes on with that. Yes, they deserve it. And they were part of my journey perfecting it. So my journey was perfected by myself. I'm my biggest hero. Of course, the Malenkos, what they taught me, and then going up and down the roads with fantastic legends. I'm sitting in backseat with Rufus R. Jones and Jimmy Handsome Boogie Woogie Man Valiant. Of course, what was it? Sonny Fargo, the referee. They got war stories. They're not making stuff up. And what do? Keep your mouth shut. Listen and learn. People like Johnny Weaver, Roddy Piper. The list goes on and on. I've named in my book 65 people that have helped me with my career. And when I mean that, I don't care if it's a something of a sentence to help me with my career. They've helped me. Because you got to put all those together. I've been wrestling professionally since I'm 21 years old. And my last match was 3 years ago on Impact Wrestling against Johnny Swinger. Yeah, I'm not wrestling anymore. I have nothing to prove.
Yeah.
You're not going to, you could see me work against Johnny Swinger, but you're not going to see a match like Owen Hart when I was 35-30.
Yeah, back in your heyday, right? When you can really go, right?
Right. I'm not all the suplexes all over the place, the high spots, the arm drags, the technical aspect of German wrestling, and of course Japanese wrestling, Mexican wrestling, lucha libre, and so forth. So I have nothing to prove. So the best thing is to look good at the meet and greets. I have my merchandise and of course my book. My next venture, I only have 2 ventures left before this chapter closes completely in my life, and it would be, number 1 is an audio book. Number 2, I would love to be a coach backstage to one of these so-called billion-dollar companies.
That would be something.
Yeah, it would be something.
Yeah.
And I don't need to be in charge, Mark. I just want to add some flavor to the stew. And there's nothing wrong. Well, give me a tryout, And if you're going by my win-loss record, well, you're a friggin' Mark. Okay. Could the guy work? Yeah. Does he show up on time? Does he pass? Did he fail drug tests? Could he do this? Could he do that? Could he do that? And you still got these cliquish things. Well, he's my friend, and this and that, and that idea doesn't work,
right?
In my opinion.
Yeah.
If this guy produces and does well and has creative ideas, I should have been there a long time ago, because I know some of these so-called coaches in these back rooms of both companies, maybe even other companies. They couldn't lace my boots. They don't know a wrist lock from a wristwatch. Am I putting them down? No. I'm just saying lack of. Do I have faults? Sure. I'm sure. But I can count you. If you added them up, I'm going to be winning. Yeah, I'm not bragging. That's just a shoot, a fact, and I'm sure of myself.
You got to have a little bit of that. Otherwise, what are we doing, right? If you don't have confidence in yourself, no matter what industry you work in, yeah.
This is a competition at its, and I love to compete.
Without a doubt, man. And you brought up the book. You said an audiobook is something you'd like to do. Would that be for your book itself, or just in other books in general?
No, I just want to do a second part, audiobook, and depending on the project, if somebody talks for me, or I'll talk. I would prefer me talking.
Yeah.
I've got radio experience. I had a rating wrestling show back in Florida.
That's awesome.
Yeah, me and Shannon Rose, which sadly he rest in peace. We had it for about a year or two, and it was really good every Saturday. It was awesome, and I got some radio experience and stuff like that.
That's great. I studied radio and I worked in radio for years. I'm in Chicago, so I used to work at a sports talk station here in the Chicago area, and that's how I got into the podcasting. Because once I stopped doing that, I just took those skills and implemented them into podcasting. So that's pretty cool. I didn't know you had a radio background. That actually makes me have more pat on the back for you, Barry. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. I think I got away from one thing too. I see what happens is when we're talking, I've got like 20 things going in my head.
Right.
I do, and I'm trying to not ixnay one and go over the other one. We were talking about I said about putting people over. So
yeah.
I mentioned different people they deserve it. I think I closed that chapter. For instance, I can give you a great example. It was he's an all right worker, but he's probably a better idea guy than a worker, and gave me my push in Florida. Yeah, he was some guy. He was some promoter. He was somebody. Yeah, I think a little bit. That's as far as it goes. That's as far as it goes. That means you're kind of on my list a little bit.
There you go. Everybody listening, you'll kind of have an idea. He kind of give you some hints. Go do your research, figure it out. You'll know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I love my 3 lists. They're really good. The first one you don't even want to be on because it's beyond hate. It's never forgive, never forget list. The middle one is halfway there. The third one is the best one to be on. I just considered a source. AKA, I considered a source, Virgil.
Right. I got you. Right.
And I like Virgil, but no big deal. I consider it a source.
Yeah. But if anybody's got something to say about Barry, there's 3 categories.
People when they hear this, they'll bury me in this and who's he and who's that. Well, I think I got more ring time than they got shower time.
Oh, jeez. Well, they better have good shower time. Otherwise, they're going to smell differently. So yeah. Man, as a kid, like I'm 50 years old, so I grew up in the 80s, watching you on Wrestling Challenge and Superstars of Wrestling, and it was always a thrill when I saw guys like yourself and Iron Mike Sharp or Poffo. Like, I knew that the big guys were going to have a match ahead of them. It was not going to be your run-of-the-mill 3-minute Saturday match that I was used to getting. And so your name stood out to me as a kid. I was like, oh, Barry Horowitz is so cool. Talk about my all-time favorite is Randy Savage, Macho Man. I just love that dude to death. What was your interactions with him? And I know you've had a match or 2 with him in the past. I'm
going to give a big no comment. Not even a smidgen.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
He's on one of those.
Same goes with his brother.
Oh, Lanny? Okay.
No comment.
No comment. We'll move along.
Well, because if I comment, it wastes our time, and we're putting him over. No.
Gotcha.
I've worked with him, had a decent match with one of them. The other one can't work. And no comment.
Gotcha. How about Jake the Snake?
Oh, I like Jake. And this is huge to me. First of all, Jake's promos, his work is solid. But the biggest thing I've gained from it, when I was in Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, Jim Crockett, this was kind of cool. Of course, the Crockett's owned a lot of things, and they owned, I think, a baseball stadium. And I'll never forget this. It was in 82, 83. And hey, anybody who wants to, learn more about the business, this and that, go down to the ballpark. There was a ring there. And we'd go in there and just work out with Jake and listen to him talk, because there's a lot more to this business than looking good, getting through the ropes, grabbing a headlock, doing a high spot. It's much more than that. There's traveling. There's conducting yourself as a professional athlete in the airports and these late night diners, to the promoters, to your fellow peers, and stuff like that. So there's much more to it, but people don't get it. Probably in my eyes, the best heel that I prefer is a technician with psychology. And of course, looks good. He don't need to be jacked and gassed, but he does need to look like a pro wrestler.
Right.
I mean, myself, I stay anywhere from 215 to 225, but I project probably 230 on TV.
There you go. Well, it adds pounds, right?
Right. Yeah. So that's how I look at that.
Yeah, Jake with the promos definitely had that, that psychological aspect to the way he would talk and on the mic and everything. So I was always a big fan of his,
Yeah, and he's a pretty good sized dude, and when he worked out and stuff, he looked pretty good. But I always got along with him. Never a problem with the Snake. We joke around a little bit. No hardcore ribs, nothing like that. I never traveled with him. If I did, it was once. And that's about it. Yeah. I like Jake, and I just want to throw this in there. I like Sam Houston and I like Rockin' Robin.
Oh yeah, right. His siblings, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Good
worked with
people.
Sam Houston a lot, right? Didn't you guys have a tag team?
Oh, I did tags with Sam, but mostly heel babyface match, and I loved him. He's my style. I mean, I'll work with anybody. I mean, I'll go out there with Sam or Owen Hart or Brady Boone and pull 15, 20 minutes of wrestling. But then the next night, hey, Barry, could you get the one-man gang over in about 3 minutes? No problem.
Right.
Because I don't have an ego, number one, and I can get the job done. There's some guys, they could technical wrestle. Could you put this? Well, I don't know. And there's excuses. I'm the whole. See, I'm in it for business. This is a business. If I'm worried about my win-loss record, I need to call Dana White up and get a tryout for UFC, and then Brock could just destroy me in 5 seconds.
Oh, jeez. Right.
And then I'll go back to the wrestling promoter and beg him for my job back. So I'm not concerned about that. And the business now, they know it's just like any other show on TV. The Housewives of Beverly Hills or some kind of I don't know, smash 'em up, shoot 'em up, Chicago Fire show.
Right.
So the biggest thing is I want people to take away from my matches my persona, my look. But when I'm done, win or loss, let's just say lose. Wow. Barry Horowitz lost, but oh my God, he took that guy to school technically.
Right.
He was a vicious heel, or he was all of the above, which makes a great heel, by the way.
Right. Yeah, and it's, I'm just a kind of piggyback on what you just said is like, a lot of people look at, a lot of the talent back then as guys who were, what do they call them, enhancement talent or whatever the term was. And,
that's what I call it.
Right. And there's other terms that I don't want to use. But you...
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but I think you really explained it really well. It's all about, putting the guy over, win and loss. It's putting a good show, right? A good match together.
Mark, there has to be a winner and a loser. This goes in the movies. Everybody's did a job in this business. And if you want to get really technical about it one more time, not everybody could be the lead singer of the rock group. Not everybody could be John Bon Jovi or what's his name? Oh my God, of the Beatles.
Paul McCartney or John Lennon.
Paul McCartney. You can't. So I'll take lead guitar player. I'll take the drums, whatever they want, because you could just say piss on it and you don't have a job, or you're doing indies at a flea market, or you're out of the business. Anybody that is called less than enhancement, this is how I label it. If they look really, 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 really bad, pasty looking, singlet doesn't fit, overweight, 150 pounds maybe, they got the job face on when they get introduced.
Gotcha.
Their length of skills is they could barely lock up. Let me tell you something. I watch a guy walk through the ropes and lock up. I'll watch the rest of the match if that's solid. If I see any of this fluffy stuff or these weak-ass punches that can't break an egg, I got to change it.
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
Yeah, that's de-enhancement talent. It's not even it doesn't even rate.
Yeah, there's some guys that you got to understand now. They don't want to step up their game. They want to go, I got a regular job. I get to be on TV. My friends see me, and I get to do this, and I get to meet some guys in the locker room. Well, that's not what I want. I want a job. I want to do this for the rest of my life, which just about did it.
There you go. And talking about winning and losing, we got to bring up, the push you had, with Chris Candido. Everybody remembers how we were all on the edge of our seats, excited. Like Barry Horowitz is going to win. He's going to get this guy. And it was awesome, man. It was, as a fan, I dug it. Talk about the lead up to that and, how things changed for you after that.
Well, it was a big push for me. And anybody that says it wasn't, forget the fans. Some of the guys in the locker room, well, they're marks, because that's not big enough for them. I could win the world title from Hulk Hogan in 2 seconds. Well, that's not, you know what I mean? There's always something. I'm not saying always, but you got 50% of the guys that are talking like me, and the other 50, I don't know where their mind is, and I really don't care. But I think all the matches I was having, it was my turn, because you got to understand, how many times I've went to the gorilla position? I got my oil on. I got my new trunks on.
Right.
I got my mat down. Gorilla Monsoon looks at me. Hey, Barry, we don't have time for your match. Thank you, sir. I'm not kicking trash cans. I'm not complaining. My body's lasting another day. I got paid for putting boots and trunks on and warming up. And I'm still in the game, and I'm still there.
And you'll be there again next time, right? I mean, it's just part of the process.
Oh, yeah. Only a handful of times that's happened. You don't have time. It's Monday Night Raw. We don't have time to squeeze in that dark match.
Right. And you'll be back next week doing the same thing again in another city, and hopefully that one will make it, right?
And then you never know. You're standing there. Everybody under contract's got to be at every event. You're standing there in Boston Gardens at a pay-per-view that's huge. And I'm just there, hey, maybe you need a dark match, and I get pulled to the side. Hey, Barry, you're going to be the Red Knight tonight. We're making up a costume. It'll be ready in an hour. Terry Funk has called in. His horse is sick, and you're taking his place. What an honor to take Terry Funk's place, because in his heyday, he was a technical wrestler.
Oh, without a
So
doubt.
then he turned hardcore and whatnot, but you just don't know any given time. Something, a push, this and that. It's just it's almost a crapshoot sometimes. But I still think it really depends on your availability, how you talk, how you show up, how you do this. I think it does happen, and then you could be the perfect, and you're still not going to win that battle. It's a shame.
It sounds like you're ready for it. When that opportunity came after all those years, you're ready to go. Yeah.
Oh, I was always ready, because I said, I'm going. I never got discouraged. I'm doing my dream. I'm traveling all over the world. So yeah, and it's got me places. It got me pushes at little things. It got me a push at WCW. I've worked for every company except ECW. And I guess maybe they didn't like me because I could wrestle too much. I'm not hardcore.
Right.
Didn't get along with the owner, so don't really care about that. Did I get my major one? To where 1 year I was on every pay-per-view, In Your House, Royal Rumble, King of the Ring, captain of my team on Survivor Series. I did a commercial with Hakushi for Karate Fighters, celebrity softball game in Anaheim. I mean, it went on and on. Why they didn't continue that, I don't know, because you've seen guys stay there forever or change their gimmick, whatever. I have no idea. Nobody gave me a clue or said nothing, and yeah, it's a shame because, in my opinion, they missed out.
Yeah, and I think as fans, we all wanted that payoff more, to go a little bit further than it did. But
they could have did that and then turned me heel a year later and on somebody, and yeah, it would have worked. I know it would have worked because I'd have made it work.
I have to ask you about the pat on the back. I know there's got to be an origin story behind it. It's the greatest thing ever. Whenever I pat myself on the back, I say, look at me, I'm like Barry Horowitz. Talk about just how that all started, and I'm sure you still do it to this day. You might be doing it right now. I don't know.
I am doing it right now.
There you go.
That started in high school. Basically, I was having a amateur match. I forgot what I did. I did a double leg takedown or single, maybe. I looked up and I saw 2 points for me, and then I just jumped up and I did a half-ass pat on my back, and it was there because, I don't know, I just thought of it and also had pro wrestling in the back of my mind. I mean, would I have loved to have been something like Kurt Angle did or the Steiners, NCAA champions like Brock? Maybe if I pursued, but I didn't because I wanted to get through high school and college and pursue professional wrestling. So, of course, I got reprimanded, points taken off, coach yelled at me, this, and that, put it in my back pocket for 10 years. And I think I opened it back up when I went to the Memphis territory, the great and late Jerry Jarrett, and I used the pat on the back there. You don't want to overuse it. You don't want to underuse it. The great Tony Gurria taught me that. And also my manager, that's right, he ran ECW. Yeah, we don't want to say his name. Yeah, he was my so-called manager.
But
I had another so-called manager there. We don't want to talk about him either.
No, you don't have to.
I think he may have a job getting Triple H coffee at break time. I don't know.
I see.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's some breadcrumbs there for those listening.
There you go.
When you first did the pat on the back, was there quite a reaction from the crowd? Did you get a feel that, okay, I'm onto something, I need to do this and incorporate this?
Yeah. You want to do it like when you're introduced, when you win, maybe before you do a great Northern Light suplex, or maybe when you're going for a submission, or maybe after the suplex, before and after. It all depends. It's always got a place. You just don't want to kill it.
Right. Or like when you're making an omelet, or like you said, you had eggs earlier. You probably, once you got them done.
That's right. And anybody that pats themselves on the back, like in front of me, at the local Walmart, at the gym, at the fair, I'm going to have to sue them for gimmick infringement.
I was going to say, they owe you. There's a copyright there.
They owe me.
Or they have to acknowledge, like, I'm like him. You see Barry Horowitz is standing right there. I'm just using his signature for a second.
Yes.
Don't slam me through a table.
No, I'll just schoolboy him in the middle of the fair.
There you go.
Yeah, it's safe.
Clean up in aisle 3.
There you go.
before I let you go, I do want to ask you, because I'm in Chicago, and Rosemont Horizon back then was like the big venue that it's now called the Allstate Arena. But any memories of doing house shows and such in the Chicago area?
I've worked there for indies, but mostly the WWE at the Rosemont Horizon United Center. Big shows, big matches. Loved it there. Loved the food. Loved the hotels there. Didn't like the commute if you had to drive out of Chicago to somewhere else, like maybe Peoria or Valparaiso, something like that. Just a little bit kind of a pain. And the airports, of course, horrendous. And I'm sure they're really, really bad now. Only flew out of the little one once or twice.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I've had some good matches, and I was part of let me get this right. It was a pull apart for Survivor Series in the bathroom, a pull apart with Rick Rude and Savage.
Oh, wow.
I was part of that.
There you go.
So that was kind of cool. It's good exposure, and I was part of it. But that Chicago area is a hotbed for pro wrestling, like other cities, towns, and states.
Yeah, we definitely are big fans of it here. And like I said, I grew up going to Rosemont Horizon, watching yourself among many other legends and greats, on my TV every Saturday and Monday nights and primetime wrestling, all of that. It was just such fun as a kid growing up. And I'm sure you get a kick out of people like myself all these years later. Maybe you go to conventions too, where we're just so appreciative of the work you did and just want to see you pat yourself on the back or talk about your match with Chris Candido or, name the wrestler, right?
Yeah. What I do like about that, they've changed. They realized they know what's going on in pro wrestling. They don't know really the whole story behind the curtain. They know dribbles, and they're very appreciative of me. I hardly have anybody say, you got once in a while somebody says something stupid. I don't put it over. I look at them and consider the source, and that's big too with me, consider the source. And otherwise, I've had people come up to me, hey, you look ring ready. You don't look any different than you did 10, 20 years ago. You could still go or something like that, but they'll say, you were on third match and such superstar was on seventh in the main event. I'd rather have watched you, Barry. And I said, why? Well, you're wrestling more. That's what I came for.
There you go.
See, at Curbside, if you will, this story, at Curbside in downtown New York City, where Madison Square Garden is located, there's a sign there and it says, tonight, pro wrestling. It doesn't say anything else, and that's what I do.
There it is. That's a good way to wrap it up and label it. Barry Horowitz, pro wrestler. Pat yourself on the back, man. That's what it's all about. And this is just a big thrill. Just getting a small little look into the background into your career and let people know. Yeah. So obviously the book is a huge thing. You said it's on Amazon. Let people know how they could find the book and, get in contact with you, follow you online and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. You could my Facebook is there. You could just type in my name. It'll go to the book on Amazon. My new action figures. I've got 4 different Barry Horowitz's, kwk.com. Of course, YouTube. Oh my God. Pro Wrestling Tees. I have 4 of them online there. Various podcasts, interviews. My cameos are all 5-star reviews and doing well. I'm on a brand new one, Podstar. It is doing well. I like this company. And oh my God, I'm trying to think of my meet and greets, of course. And I do seminars for indie promotions. They'll fly me in. I do a 3 or 4 hour seminar, which I try to squeeze 18 months of training and my whole career into 4 hours.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's very hard to do that.
I can't even imagine.
And I gotta give a big, huge shout out to the king of credit, Ricky Sorrentino. He is my acting manager and agent. This man works his ass off for me. He's in charge of my website. He's a real pro, and he's really a good guy, and I'm glad I've met him. I only know Richie 5 or 6 years, and I consider him a friend and a lot better than other people.
There you go. He's in none of those categories you mentioned before. Those don't exist for him.
He's not. If it does happen, like men, we talk it out maturely, and it's squat.
There you go.
I think I've covered everything.
There's a lot there.
About, another thing, a big shout out to All Japan Wrestling. They treated me so well. And of course, the great late Otto Wantz in Austria. These people all treated me good. I got to say this, what I liked about Otto Wantz, this man called my house 3 times in Nashville, Tennessee, my second home. And I could never go because I was under contract. For the 4th time he tries, and I go, Otto, I am not on contract. I am coming to Austria. I beat Franz Schumann for the heavyweight title of First Night. This guy is an icon. Franz Schumann, folks, fans, listen to him and watch him. And he judged me by, you could work, you could wrestle. That's it. There was nothing else. Because if you have any shenanigans there, any company overseas, they're just going to send you on a plane the next day home.
Right.
So I got to give a huge shout out to all of those people that judged me for, what I could do, my work and whatnot.
And it goes back to that foundation of when you're learning with Malenko and everything and coming up in high school and college and everything. Yeah.
I think the combination of all of that, my upbringing with my late great parents, and I think who I hung with, I was never a follower. I like to be a leader. And I think if you put all that together, I think it's a successful winning formula. It's worked for me and I loved it. Love it still. Yeah, I want to I got to give a shout out to my fans too. They're very appreciative. They send me, I have a separate P.O. box. I handwrite every letter for the last 23 years. Even if it's a couple days I'm on the road, they're going to get that letter. They're going to get that cameo.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I take that serious because I'm a professional. I'm not a jabroni. And I take that serious, and I believe in that. And what goes around comes around.
I mean, handwritten letters are, it's almost like a thing of the past, right? I mean, people don't even know how to do cursive anymore, Barry. So the fact that you're even handwriting notes, that's amazing.
Handwritten letters, sometimes they'll get trading cards as gifts, a stick pin, an 8x10. It all depends on the situation. Why not? I mean, they've supported me. They come to these shows and events, and it's expensive.
Yeah. No, that's right. Every year it gets more expensive, and if you're traveling from another city to go to one of these events, it gets even more so. So, definitely salute to all the fans, and salute to you, Barry Horowitz. And what's the name of the book again?
The name of the book is, I love this. Think about how I say it. Wrestling is my gimmick.
That's great. Man, I got to check it out. When I hang up the phone with you, Barry, I'm going to have to seek out this book.
I have to leave you with something here, a couple little things.
Yeah.
First of all, you could tell a guy from Chicago, but you can't tell him much.
Is that right?
I thought I'd throw in that warped sense of humor there.
There you go.
And if you ever seen me on TV, when I win, my matches are real. When I lose, they're not.
So there you go. So you go down the line, everybody listening, you can find out which ones are real and which ones aren't.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And let me think. I thought there was a third thing, and I think it just escaped me. It was probably something, I don't know what it was.
That's all right.
Oh, yeah. Here it is. You'll love this one, I think. Telephone, telegraph, telewrestler.
Oh, wow. I've never heard that before. Wait a minute. Where's my pen?
No, that's inside jargon.
Ah, okay. I've never heard that. Is that like how lies get spread? Is that what that kind of means?
There you go.
Okay.
You got it.
Oh, I see.
You're very receptive.
Okay. I better be with these headphones on, damn it.
Yeah. Yep, that's it.
Now I'm going to pat myself on the back. If it's okay, Barry.
Oh, you can. You can. I can't see nothing. I can't prove nothing. So, and I really enjoyed this interview. You're a real pro, and hopefully we can do it some other time. And I mean, shout out to everybody that made me success more.
Yeah, without a doubt. And, shout out to you for, like I said, growing up as a kid, whenever I'd turn on, the Saturday cartoons, and then after that I'd watch wrestling. And it's like when Barry Horowitz was on my TV, I knew that there was going to be a fun match to watch. And
you know what? And I'm not trying to put myself over. I'm not into that. But I've heard this from people like yourself, fans, just people in general, just anybody. And they said the same thing. So I say, where there's smoke, there's fire. It must be true because I must be doing what I want to do properly. Getting to have a promoter say that is a different story.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't mean as disrespect to some of the guys that I would watch wrestle on there because I don't remember a lot of their names, but your name stuck, man. And I the pat on the back, the suspenders, the whole thing, it mattered. Yeah.
I wanted that, but I also like working my ass off and proving myself. So if you want to shun me and say these, you're just add fuel to the fire.
There you go.
You know what's funny too? I'll throw in here. I forgot about this. This is vital. I live 45 minutes from the Performance Center in Orlando. Yeah, think about that. And of course, the billion-dollar company could afford easily to bring me in there once a week, teach, talk, stuff like that. But no, we don't want to do that. And they don't realize I don't need super duper main event money, but Could you imagine that once a week? And if I'm wrong, you don't have to pay me because I will outcoach your coaches.
Oh wow! Without
maybe not all of them, but some of them.
Yeah.
But to not bring me in, it's a foolish move. You got nothing to lose. You got billions. And I've heard some of the jabronis they bring in there and give them a payday. And I'm going, wait a minute. You never even worked for that company. You worked the indie group. And who are you? Who the hell are you? Who are you?
Jabroni to the fullest extent right there. You're a stone's throw away. I can't even, I never, now that you say that, it really puts into perspective, Barry. And,
And I'm not saying that. Now, you could go think about this, Mark. Well, Barry's been late to shows. He's failed drug tests. He's did this. He's did that. Well, of course they're not going to use you, Barry. No. I check. You give me a checklist. Positivity, I got 95% positivity. You want to challenge me on that in a verbal assault? In an argument like that, I'm trying to think. There was a famous thing I used to say in a battle of wit. You're friggin' unarmed.
There you go. You got a lot of one-liners, Barry. These sound like things you might have said in a promo, but I'm not sure.
One-liners that are true, one-liners that are funny. But yeah, that's so. That's my answer. And of course they'll give the famous safe answer if they can't use it. We just don't have a place for you, Barry. Oh, you're full of shit. God. Get the hell out of here.
What does that even mean?
We'll work somebody else.
Well, I mean, you hear something like that, and it's like you make a place for somebody that deserves to be.
Yeah, I'm not. We're just shooting the shit here. I'm just talking.
Yeah.
But that's just that's how I feel. It's not. I'm not jealous. I'm not mad. But when I hear of different things or different big tours and something like this, and but I will tell you this, that's the nature of the beast of the pro wrestling business. Take it or leave it. There's only one guarantee in pro wrestling. There is no guarantee.
If there's nothing else, that's what it is. And everybody listening, you've heard it from the man himself. He shoots from the hip, the one and only Barry Horowitz. Man, it was a pleasure talking to you, Barry. This has been a lot of fun. And
Mark, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me on your show.
Of course.
I'm hoping this gets out to a lot of people and gets shared.
Yeah.
Keeps on getting shared and shared and shared and goes all over the place.
There you go. Everybody listening, make sure you follow Barry Horowitz. Check the links when you hear this episode. There'll be all kinds of stuff to click on to make sure you get the book and everything else. Once again, the great Barry Horowitz. Pat yourself on the back, Barry. You once again knocked out another great interview. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thanks to all the fans and everybody listening. And I appreciate you all. I mean that.
Without a doubt.
I'll even throw out some ribs I saw.
I'm sure there's some stuff that, we barely scratched the surface with ribs and stuff. And Brian Blair told me one funny one with him and Andre and Dusty Rhodes in the car and a cooler with piss in it or something where Andre was peeing in a cooler. Or something crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was and Brian Blair does a really good Dusty Rhodes, by the way. His impression is really good. So
yeah, he does. No, I've heard. Yeah.
Hey, Biba. Yeah. Something like that. I can't remember how he did it, but maybe I'll put a clip of that in this episode. So maybe if you ever go back and play this episode, you'll hear it. I'll put that clip in there somewhere.
I forgot to mention. I should have piggybacked, but I mentioned Brian Blair and of course Steve Kern. But my biggest 4 inspirations of Florida wrestling was first and foremost Mike Graham, Jack Briscoe, Don Morocco, Bob Orton Jr.
Oh, man, you need some great ones there. Yeah, Don Morocco, The Rock, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're talking the real total package.
Yeah, Magnificent Morocco. He was one of those guys, and you saw him on TV. I knew that other guy was in for it. Get ready, because this guy was a house. Yeah.
Yep. Awesome, yes.
Yeah, man, he was one of the greats.
And the cool part was, that was my first show I ever watched, 13 years old. And years later, I get to work for the company, my hometown, and I defeat Mike Graham at the University of Tampa for the Florida heavyweight title.
Get out of here.
I never thought that would happen. I go, what? I thought that was a rib because I saw it on paper. I go, okay. So, like I said, Malenko, you always go with the rib. Oh, really? I am? Oh, I'm happy. No, I wouldn't go like this. Oh, that's bullshit. Mike's not going to do it. I never did that. I just went along with it.
You couldn't believe it till it was happening, right? I mean, until that moment was actually happening.
I couldn't believe that. And long story short, I couldn't believe when it happened with Skip because Kevin Nash gave me the first tip.
Oh, that's right. He kind of hinted you to it before it happened. Okay.
Well, he was the world champion, and he's in on production meetings. And he liked me. And I know him from Charlotte when he was friggin', oh my God, Vinny Vegas, Oz, the Master Blasters or whatever. That was his first thing with Corey or Al Green. And so, yeah, he just said that to me when I walked in the building. It was somewhere in College State Park, Pennsylvania, one of those areas in there, and told me. And I still thought it's a rib until hours later, Pat Patterson needs to speak to you. I said, okay, sure. Sat me down, laid out the whole thing. And he goes, I don't know if this is going to work. We'll see what it is. Well, I got a year out of it. I guess they liked it.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure the money was great too, or at least a little bit better.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
That had to be kind of
So-
cool to get Kevin Nash, him telling you that, because it kind of made you think like maybe this is rib, maybe it's not, because it's coming from him. Like you said, consider the
Right.
source, right? That's a
Well,
good source.
I've been ribbed by him verbally, but nothing crucial, and I just consider a source as far as he's just ribbing and joking around. He's a different guy now. I haven't seen him in years. I don't even think he does meet and greets no more. I think he stays home, does podcasts, and counts his money.
Well,
Why not?
we could all be so lucky, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's kind of smart, and stay away from the ones that could bury you.
There you go, right? Hey, as I got older, Barry, I go less and less out the house. So I don't know, man. I'm not against it too much, but you do got to get out once in a while. You got to see the people.
Oh,
so.
of course. Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, man.
You could communicate through Joshua's email,
Gotcha.
because he takes care of that. He's the cameraman for my cameos, and he helps produce.
There you go. He is all things, a jack of all trades for your.
Just about. When it comes to that, yes.
Yeah.
He just doesn't get the money I get, and he can't wrestle.
Okay.
Oh, he can't wrestle like me.
Well, so just a small difference.
Small difference, yes.
I'm sure you could throw a good headlock on you if you needed to, but
Oh, I think he can, yeah.
There you
Yeah. Yes. And he's pretty good at taking abuse too. I've stood on him and I front face locked him until he turned pink, and he would not submit.
oh, jeez.
Would not submit.
Well,
I don't know if that was me being weak or he's just a non-submitter.
you kind of half did it, right? It wasn't a full.
No, it was full blown shoot.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if you're gonna do it right.
You know what's funny? When I met Roddy Piper once, I had him take a picture with me, and I asked him to do a sleeper hold on me for the picture.
Uh-oh.
It hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Let me tell you something. About Roddy. Yes. I don't know what the deal is with him. I've worked with him a few times. He's very nice to me. Talk to him, but I've worked with him, but I'm used to certain things. But you get used to a little bit easier working with some guys. But I did notice when I worked with him, he worked pretty snug.
Yeah.
Like on a scale of 1 to 10, it was an 8, and probably a 10 if he was in Japan. But I never put it over. He never hurt me,
Right.
and you're not going to whine. And the late, great Dr. Death Steve Williams always said, hey, everybody could be a pro wrestler if it was that easy. They think it's ballet. You see what I mean?
Right.
Then everybody could do it, but that's not the case.
No, not at all. Not even close.
There's some toughness that's involved, and you do get hurt and stuff like that. Now, if it's done intentional and it pursues, well, then receipts need to be handed out.
Yes. I'm sure you got a bag of those.
Just a few. Just a few.
Sounds
I have
like
no
it.
problem. If that same mistake or really hurt me more than twice, I mean, I got to give a receipt, something.
Yeah.
Once, it could be an accident, or that's just the way they work, or they don't know any better.
There you go. See?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's like I said, I remember when I asked him to do the picture for it, his knee went in my back a little bit. I was like, oh, man, this feels like a real sleeper hole. And I remember telling him afterwards, I was like, Roddy, it felt like you're giving me a real sleeper hole. They're going to pull my arm up 3 times to see if I was going to make it.
He works pretty. I remember different things working with him.
I'm sure he doesn't know his own strength. I'm just some goofball, I don't know anything. So he's not slapping it on that hard. But to me, your average Joe, it felt like the real thing.
Well, probably, who knows how long ago that was. They want you to know that pro wrestling's real.
Yeah, no, without a doubt.
See, that's what I do. I'm not a fan of that, unless you're being a wise guy to me. I mean, I was at this meet and greet in upstate New York a couple of years ago, and there was a big Comic-Con. People were walking around like they were Jason from Friday the 13th,
Right.
and then you got the Michael Myers. So what I would do is put them in an arm bar and take a picture. So it was pretty cool. So this was good. Most of them went with it, but the Michael Myers guy, he stiffens up, and I go, hey, loosen up. because that's what I would say to another wrestler. He didn't know what that meant. So I got him to loosen up in it. But if they continue it, then I just apply it a little bit. But if for the most part, especially little kids or a woman or something like that, it's very, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 0. You don't want no lawsuits and you don't want to hurt nobody. But how many people take a picture with somebody giving them a top wrist lock or a headlock or a bottom wrist lock? They don't know how to do it, first of all. And it's kind of cool to get a picture taken like that, I would think.
Yeah.
Because I'll ask them, do you want to be put in a wrestling hold, or you just want to shake hands? What would you like?
Right. See?
So.
Well, it sounds to me like, Michael Myers can't hang with Barry Horowitz because you put him in the arm bar and he was done.
His arm was stiff. It was like, loosen up, dude. Like, I'm not going to break it. He may have been scared or something. I don't know.
Oh, my God. I remember, not to keep you too long, but I remember I took a picture with Haku and Barbarian some years ago, and Haku choked me. I didn't ask for it. He was smiling and laughing while he's choking me in the picture.
He's pretty cool.
And it was a lot of fun. Cool. I've never been choked and had fun being choked before, so it was...
All the whole Samoan family clan, whatever you want to call them, stemming from the Wild Samoans to Jimmy Snuka, they're all good people. They like wrestlers. They like you to work hard and not to be goofballs. They don't like the opposite of that. The ones I encountered with, okay? They just... And if you're the opposite, if you're I'll use this term loosely, if you're somebody like Ultimate Warrior or something, you're going to get beat up, bro.
Oh, yeah. You're a little stiff, right?
Well, you're stiff. You can't work. You don't respect the business. You're all about shaking the ropes and face paint, bad disposition, don't respect the business. We can go on and on.
Yeah, he was more everything until the bell rang. It was all that was the show for him, right? It was pretty much that. And then once he got in the ring, it was different. Yeah.
I'll give you a little one I learned from some old timers. When the music stopped, so did the match.
Oh, jeez. Oh, God. Yeah. As a fan, I never really gravitated towards him, and not to disrespect him or anything, but it wasn't my cup of tea. But I got why people got excited for him, because the music's blasting and he's running a million miles an hour, and the face paint, right, and all of it looks like $1 million. But of course, when the match started,
for the time and the era, it was good, and Vince, of course, loved all that shit. Now, if you go on today and do that today, or go to Japan with that, they won't accept it.
You'll hear the "you can't wrestle" chants, in the crowd.
You're right.
Yep.
Yeah.
You'll hear it.
Unlike the chant they gave for me at Impact, "You still got it. You still got it." That was pretty cool.
Yeah. You can't beat that. So
I didn't expect
something.
that. Yeah, I didn't expect it.
No. How'd you feel after that? Did you feel beat up? Did you feel like you go back again? Or was it like, okay, that's definitely it?
No, it was an easy match.
Yeah.
I know Johnny very well. It was a simple match.
There you go.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Yeah. I'll have to find, is that on YouTube somewhere? I need to watch that. I don't think I've ever seen that match.
It is on YouTube.
Okay.
It is on YouTube, yeah.
All right. Now, hang up this phone, Barry. I got work to do. I got to look up your book, and I got to watch that video.
Yeah, and if you look at any of the technical matches, like especially of Owen Hart and a really good one with Dean Malenko, you'll appreciate it.
There you go. I definitely got to check that out. Thanks for giving me some stuff to do, Barry, before the day's over. I'm gonna be doing a lot of Barry Horowitz homework. Yeah, that's awesome.
And before I go, at the end of the day, you know what you have to do? Keep in touch with yourself.
There you go. Pat myself on the back.
There you go. You got it.
That's a touching I can do.
That's it.
There it is. Hey,
that's
Barry,
legal.
Hey, there you go. Right. Just had the curtains drawn. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate this, dude. It's just a lot of fun talking with you, Barry. There's so much.
You too.
So much in there. I don't even know where to begin.
Privilege
and
no
honor.
Problem. Oh, it was an honor being with you. Thank you.
You got it, Barry. Take it easy, man.
You too.
Thanks, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Big thanks to Barry Horowitz. That was a lot of fun talking with him. Covered a lot of stuff in there, and I feel like there's a lot more to get into. The main thing I really wanted to know was the start of patting yourself on the back. I never knew where that came from, so it's cool to find out where that started and how he got into doing that as basically part of his main gimmick. So definitely thank him for his time. And I talked a little bit at the end there about, taking pictures of wrestlers where they're doing moves to you. And Roddy Piper, and I remember this, it was at a convention here. It was him and Keith David were here promoting, their time working on the movie They Live. And everyone's taking their normal pictures, and I was like, man, it'd be kind of cool to get a sleeper hold, from Piper in a picture. And he slapped it on. His knee went into my back. I was like, oh, this kind of feels feels like the real thing here, man. So I have a picture of that. There's also a picture, like I mentioned, with Haku and Barbarian. I met them both at the same time. I don't remember how it started. I don't remember agreeing to it or asking for it. But in the picture, Haku just started choking me and laughing. If you look at maybe I should post the picture again. He's choking me and laughing while he's doing it. And Barbarian just pointing like, yeah, we're choking this dude out. And he paid for it. I think I have one more just one more picture I have where I'm getting a wrestling move done to me. Diamond Dallas Page, when I used to work at sports radio here in Chicago, he was a guest on a show in studio. And, I got to say hi to him afterwards. And, he's like, you want to get a diamond cutter? I was like, yes, I do. I mean, he didn't give me the actual move, but he put me in the move. And I got a picture of it. So it's always fun to do that kind of stuff. But the Piper one stands out because I did feel when it was done, like, God, my neck kind of, I don't know, man. I hope he didn't think that I was Adrian Adonis or something. He wanted to make sure I went to sleep. But big up to those guys. It's always fun meeting my wrestling heroes like that. And Barry Horowitz is one of them, dude. So big salute to him. But without further ado, it is time. Grab some popcorn, get a drink. I'm going to babble on about Body Slam. Here. Let's get it going. Infinite torture time. Strap it on, folks. We're gonna get into this. It's time for Body Slam here on Infinite Banter Podcast. Another edition of Infinite Torture. Here we go. Cue the intro.
May I have your attention, please?
Infinite torture.
People think I didn't watch the movie. I remember the movie.
No, of course you did. Of course.
You know what I mean?
So you
can't call something bad without actually paying attention to it.
I do that pretty much all the time, so I disagree.
I mean, you're a terrible person.
Yeah, it was fucking ridiculous.
There you go.
But,
That's the way you sum it up.
Yeah, complete garbage.
Cool, Kim. You're making me feel like the Grinch because I had all this hate in my heart for Vanilla Ice all these years. 30-something years, and now
I'm just warming you up to him, like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, maybe wasn't that. Let me go listen to Ice. Let me go watch the movie. What was the Vanilla Ice? What was that Vanilla Ice movie had?
Cool as Ice or something.
You know what it's called, because you went and seen it. You seen it. You went and seen it. You know what it's called. You know what it's called.
I'm going to delete this. This whole thing's going to delete.
Not only do you know what it's called, you was there opening day, all right?
Yeah, instead of the Star Wars poster, I really have Cool as Ice.
Yeah, with the motorcycle and the whole shit, yo.
So you seen it too?
Hell yeah. Twice.
You got the Blu-ray and the special director's cut.
Hell yeah, I do. And I'm trying to run into so I can get my copy autograph, you heard?
Get out of here.
Complete garbage.
Infinite torture.
What's wrong with you, Mark?
It's time once again, unfortunately, for another edition of Infinite Torture. For those who have never heard this segment before, on occasion what I'll do is I'll kind of force myself to watch something that either has interest to me of some sort or something I never watched that I actually had interest in watching, just never got around to it. And then I talk about it. And more times than not, it's as bad as I expect it to be, sometimes worse. Occasionally, it's surprisingly tolerable. What is the case with today's edition with Body Slam? This one right here. This is not a body slam. This one felt like a chokehold or a headlock that was 90 minutes. And you just wanted to get out of it, and it just hurts, and you can't breathe. Can you undo the move now? Can I get up and go back to my normal, boring life? Because I don't want to watch this anymore. This is a rough one. Body Slam came out in 1986. Now, I have never heard of this movie. I'm not aware of its existence until about a week before recording this. When I had booked Barry Horowitz to come on, it just so happened around that same time that I'm, going through Pluto or Tubi or both of them, just kind of looking for something to watch, and I stumbled upon this thing called Body Slam, and I saw Roddy Piper and Dirk Benedict, and I was like, what is this? How do I not know about this? Do I want to watch it? It sounds like the perfect movie to watch, to do Infinite Torture, and to tag team it with the Barry Horowitz interview. It's something to make this a wrestling-themed podcast episode. So lo and behold, I made sure to make myself some time to watch this thing. And let's just get into it. Let's just go ahead and begin the torture. 1986 is when this thing came out. And I do want to bring up the release aspect of it. So it had very limited release, according to Wikipedia. I don't know how credible this source is, but it says it never saw wide theatrical release, instead released directly to VHS in most of the United States. Hooray! No wonder Tubi and Pluto grabbed it and said, here you go, watch this. Directed by Hal Needham, and I hope I'm saying that right. Apparently, he was a stuntman and worked a lot with Burt Reynolds on films like Smokey and the Bandit and Cannonball Run, which are movies I've never watched, by the way. I know people like them, so I don't know if they count for Infinite Torture. I never had any interest in watching them. I never watched them. I'm aware that they exist, of course. I've seen bits and pieces on, the TV over the years, but I can't sit here and tell you I've actually watched them and sat through them. So maybe down the line, that would be something to do, but I don't know, man. Someone's got to tell me I need to do that. I don't really have any interest in watching it. But that's where Hal Needham got his name in Hollywood. It's also starring Dirk Benedict, who I only know from the A-Team. Shout out to my guy Rudy. He pointed out to me that he was also Starbuck in Battlestar Galactica, the original run of Battlestar Galactica, which I didn't remember, but that's pretty cool that he's done that as well. You've got Rowdy Roddy Piper in there, the Barbarian, Captain Lou Albano, the Tonga Kid, Billy Barty is in this for some reason. John Astin has a really quick cameo from the Addams Family, if you remember him. Gomez, the TV show version. So, there's a lot of people in this that made me want to watch it. Tanya Roberts, her second appearance on Infinite Torture because she's in Beastmaster. So it's the second time I watched a movie where she's in it and she's not doing a whole lot and it's a bad movie. You got Roddy Piper also making a second appearance because he was in Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies, a movie I did a couple years back. So welcome back, Tanya Roberts and Roddy Piper. They're both no longer with us, so rest in peace to them both, but they're in this movie. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into it. It's an Orion release, and a lot of movies in the 80s, I remember, you'd see TriStar, you'd see Canon, and you'd see Orion. These are the movie distributors, filmmakers that you would see that logo pop up. I don't know, was Orion known for good movies? I got to look into that a little bit. But then the opening song is pretty bad. And I tend to watch these with captions because, I'm trying to write down notes and I don't want to miss anything. And it's kind of hard to rewind on Tubi and Pluto. As much as I love them, they do have very, rare commercials within it. And when you want to rewind it or fast forward, if it's around a commercial break, it makes it kind of hard to get back to that spot. So I leave the words on there just so I can read it in case I miss something. And it really helps when a really bad song is on because this song is terrible. The song that opens the movie. It is pretty awful. And the lyrics, being there to read them, it only makes a song that much more worse. So that's what you get. It's a totally 80s movie. Right off the bat, you got Dirk Benedict playing Harry, what the heck's his name? Smilak. I wanted to say Similac. He's dressed like, one of the guys from Miami Vice. He's in a red Ferrari, and then it gets repossessed. It's like a lot of those 80s movies. You got like the lead guy, a decent-looking dude who's smart. He has all the capabilities of being good at something, but he's a screwball. He's an idiot. He can't get things going. Things just keep him, having to always con his way through, and he can't just get like an honest job and be good at it. He's always got to be like this kind of dude, kind of slime ball, and always has to hit on the girls and has a hard time with money, but he shouldn't have a hard time with money. It's like Police Academy, it's like DC Academy, like name all those movies. This is very similar to that with the lead actor. So he's down on his luck. Apparently he works in the music business. He's a total shyster. And he owes money to a lot of people. There's one instance where I guess it's a Korean loan company. There's a little guy, and the Wild Samoans are his henchmen. I guess Mr. Fuji wasn't available, so there's some actor playing this part. And they destroy his car. Not the car that got repossessed. He has another car. He talked John Astin into letting him have this car because I guess he works at a car dealership. So they wreck that car. And they want their money because he owes them money. It's like $60,000 or something. Maybe it's 6-7. I think I remember the number because of the stupid 6-7 thing. $67,000. In 1986, that was a lot of money, right? It was a lot of money now, but so this felt like a Jerry Maguire meets Miami Vice kind of movie. Very, very much like the guy's not good at doing his job as an agent. He just needs like that one thing to put him over to get him back on top. So he's in some meeting room and he busts through the door because it's not his turn yet because he wants to get the meeting now with some sleazeball behind a desk. And Roddy Piper happens to be sitting there talking about how he wants more money for his wrestling gigs. And after 2 or 3 interruptions from Dirk Benedict, he finally decides, hey, I'm going to represent Roddy Piper. I'm going to start talking him up, not knowing that Roddy Piper is a wrestler, has no idea what his business is. So there's your plot right there, okay? Such a sleazeball. I feel like I'm watching a TV version of a movie. It's not like a real movie that you would see on the big screen. This does feel like a TV movie or even a sitcom. This was like a long episode of Too Close for Comfort or something. It's very terrible. Was his name Face? Yeah, his name was Face on A-Team. If he had a spin-off movie, this would have been it. What does he do after the A-Team? This would have been the TV movie starring Dirk Benedict. You know Face, but you know him as Harry Smilak? Smilak? Whatever the hell his name is. But this movie jumps around a lot. It's hard to kind of focus because I don't really know why these people keep showing up and popping up. Tonga Kid just pops up. Apparently he's Piper's tag team partner. By the way, he's known as Tonga Tom. He's Tonga Kid to most of us, but in this, they didn't change his name much. And Roddy Piper is known as Quick Rick Roberts. Okay. But yeah, there's a lot of jokes in this. None of them really land at all. And it's very much stuck in the 80s with stereotypes. So I mentioned before the Korean lone guy. They do all the Asian stereotypes with him. So, if you think that's the first time you're going to cringe, be ready because it's coming. There'll be a lot worse than that. So they show, Tonga Kid and Roddy Piper in a gym. And I guess there's some bad guy heel tag team known as Axe and Hammer the Cannibals, played by the Barbarian and Teo Khan. And these are real wrestlers. All the wrestlers in this, by the way, they're playing wrestlers. It's like they're playing themselves. The only guy who looks like he's trying to do any kind of acting is Roddy Piper. And you can kind of tell that he has aspirations of possibly doing movies. And he might actually have the chops for this. Where the other guys, especially Captain Lou Albano, wow, he's just doing the same crap he does on your wrestling shows every Saturday. I always found him to be weird, too, with the rubber bands, in his skin, on his cheeks and everything. I never understood his look. He kind of looked like a homeless creepo with rubber bands all over him. I never got the Captain Lou Albano thing, but obviously he was a big deal in the mid-'80s, early 80s when wrestling was getting to the peak that it did. So they get their first match, Piper and Tonga Kid, and they're fighting, I don't know, I just call them the white conquistadors. They're just these guys with masks. It's all whites as opposed to the conquistadors who are all gold. They beat them pretty easily and not much going on, and they won the match. There's some girl that's hanging around with Roddy Piper all the time. I guess it's his niece. They don't really explain who she is, why she's there. Part of the movie I thought it was his kid. I didn't understand what was going on. And that's the 80s, right? There's always a kid who doesn't have a regular parental unit. There's no mom, but there's a dad. There's no dad, but there's a mom. There's no mom or a dad, but there's a house cleaner or a rich guy. Or adoption, whatever, or an alien that's raising your kid. There's all this weird, or a robot kid. These are real shows from the 80s I'm referencing. So there's some girl there. She doesn't do anything for the story. She's just kind of there. She hangs out with Roddy Piper, goes to wrestling shows, and I don't know what else she does. I don't understand what she's doing there. But she annoys Dirk, so good. They cut to some wrestling show, a talk show. And the guy who hosts it looks exactly like Harry Carey. The big, giant glasses. And it's with Captain Lou Albano, Billy Barty. I don't know why he's in this. And then, Dirk Benedict's character. Now, this is the scene where, for a lot of you, if you have a hard time with the Asian stereotypes earlier in the movie, this might jump the shark for you even more. So there's a lot of, short people jokes. All right. And Billy Barty, I guess they just told him when they hired him, your whole shtick is you're going to say the F word. I don't mean the 4-letter F word. I mean the 6-letter F word. He says it a lot. And he keeps saying it. He keeps calling Dirk Benedict's character that. And he calls Captain Lou that as well. He just says that all the time. And it's like, whoa, there's a word I haven't heard in a while. And all right. They're saying it again. Oh, great. Oh, a commercial break. Thank you. I need a break from that. That was brutal. So yeah, this does not age well. This is where the movie definitely jumps the shark. I did write here in my notes that it's good to see Piper working with a Samoan, who Tonga Kid is, because he's known for bashing Jimmy Superfly Snuka over the head with a coconut. That actually did hurt him and gave him a concussion, and they had a lot of problems after that. So it's good to see that, he could work well with Samoans. There's a lot of them in this movie, so it helps. Good on you, Roddy. You grew from that. So every time Dirk Benedict's character goes home, the lone guy and his wild Samoan henchmen just kind of appear like they're living in his bushes or something. They just show up. Where's my money? You said you'd have my money. And then they turn the car over. At this point, I forgot to mention Tanya Roberts drove him home. He somehow conned her to go to his house or whatever. It's her car or her mom's car, something like that. And they turn the car over and it gets wrecked. So, this is what they do. They just wreck cars as they keep waiting for him to pay them off. So he's got like 2 or 3 cars that get destroyed by the wild Samoans. They just basically show, hey, look, we could take a car and turn it on its side. And of course, there's some stereotypes going on during this. Some more randomness. So apparently, Harry Slack is his name. He manages a garage band called Kicks. So he shows up at the garage and says he's got a gig for them at this fundraiser for a guy running for senator in California. And the senator does not know this, because Dirk Benedict's character promised like Barbra Streisand or something, Frank Sinatra, and Kicks shows up. And Kicks are not good. And they have pyrotechnics, and the whole thing is a joke, and it doesn't go well for the fundraiser. They don't really focus on whether or not he gets elected or not. I don't know why they even have that storyline. This movie jumps around quite a bit. There's a lot of weird stuff happening that kind of keeps you out of focus of what's actually supposed to be about wrestling. So Dirk Benedict's character dresses like a woman, another 80s thing, so he could hide from the loan collectors and everybody looking for him for making all these shady deals and screwing stuff up. And he's there for the first match between, Piper and Tonga Kid and these cannibal guys who are supposed to be the best tag team in the country, and they have the belts and everything. I do like that Piper is billed from Evanston when they say his name. They said from Evanston, Illinois. I was like, all right, that's cool. It's right around where I'm at. The cannibal guys have like these dog chains they come out with, and they use them as weapons, and they whip both of the guys, and they're hanging Piper from over the rope with the chain. They both have blood on them from it. So they went out of their way to make this kind of like the standout. And this is where they show you like, hey, we're wrestlers. Let's do what we do and not make it, all Hollywood. So it felt like a real wrestling match. So the wrestling match, like I said, is the best part of this movie by far. And at this point in the movie, it's like the only thing that's gotten me somewhat excited when I'm watching this. And at the end of the match, because all hell breaks loose, the good guys lose. And Dirk Benedict's character, who's still dressed as a woman, gets tossed over the ropes onto the floor. I'm guessing they did this so that we don't know it's a stuntman getting tossed. Because I think if it really was, Dirk Benedict's character, they'd have to find somebody to look like him. They have to do all that. That's my guess. I could be wrong. Maybe just dress up like a woman was just something you do in the 80s, and they wanted to do that. But I'm guessing that's why they did it. So then his character shows up at the hospital. He's got a neck brace on. He's got crutches. Car gets repossessed again. The neck brace around his neck kind of reminds me of Bobby the Brain Heenan, because he had that gimmick going on in the 80s. Where I'm trying to think, he got chased by the British Bulldogs or something, and he hurt his neck. I can't remember what the gimmick was, but somehow he was always wearing a neck brace. But they're at the hospital. Piper's character and Tonga Kid's character are in hospital beds. They're beat up from the match. So they're not doing anything to make you think like, hey, this is a work. No, this is wrestling is real. They're not portraying it as, guys just hitting each other, and it's not as dangerous as it can be. These guys really are hurt if you go by the storyline in the movie. And Dirk Benedict's character says, I'm done. I'm quitting as your manager. And Roddy Piper is upset. He visits him at his house and says, hey, man, we need you. You're the best in the business, which I don't know how he's the best in the business because he hasn't done anything for these guys. He's terrible at everything he does. But he comes up with the great idea of taking his terrible rock band and these two guys, put them on a bus and go across the country and do like a rock show and a wrestling thing in same venue, different nights or whatever. I thought they were going to do them together as like they play a concert and then there's a match, but that's not exactly what happens in this. So there's like a montage of them going to different cities. They show a picture of a map and lines, the whole thing you do in a montage. Bad music is playing. They go to some place in the middle of nowhere, and there's some weirdo named Elmo who says something about, we can't have 2 nights here because we've got a pig auction. So you got to have 1 night. So he's like, you got to get more bang for your buck. And it's very, over the top with sexual innuendo. And the guy keeps saying bang for your buck. It's creepy. The guy's name is Elmo, which kind of doesn't work. Because, think of Sesame Street. And Dirk Benedict's like, you know what? Let's go ahead and do a bang for your buck show where we do the rockin' wrestling. Aha! Light bulb. Wrestling fans, if you guys are old enough, you know this. The rockin' wrestling thing already happened a couple years before this movie. That's what sparked WrestleMania 1. You had Cyndi Lauper involved, and it was on MTV and everything. That is not a new thing. It's just the movie took that and try to make it something. Like, hey, let's make a movie about the unlikely, joint venture of rock and roll and wrestling. So they're playing a concert, then it goes into the wrestling match. And the wrestling match is pretty bizarre because they just pick two guys at random out of the audience. There's a skinny guy and a big fat guy. And they're beating the crap out of Piper because he's fat and he just sits on top of him. It's pretty hard to watch. But they overcome those guys. I guess they become friends because they're in all the other matches. They're on sidelines watching. And somehow they end up on the cover of Rolling Stone. They do another montage of these guys going from city to city. And the rock and wrestling thing is so huge because of Kicks, whatever their name is. And some guy says, I'm from Rolling Stone. He puts them on the cover. Okay. It's like, if you believe that this kind of thing, these barnyard matches with a garage band somehow caught Rolling Stone's attention. So I guess we're leading up to a climax where they want to face, the Cannibals for the tag team titles. They've held them for 5 years. They won't give them up to anybody. This is going to be the finale of the movie. By the way, 2 references in this movie where Dirk Benedict's character is called Face. There's that Ring talk show again where they said, you're the new face of wrestling. And they kind of do like a wink and a nudge. I felt like they were doing that. So I was like, oh yeah, you're Face from A-Team. And then Tanya Roberts' character called him Face or something. So I was like, oh, I don't know is this on purpose or am I just making it something? I'm not like this huge A-Team fan or anything, but I know like that's what his character's name was. So there's a stipulation in this wrestling talk show that the belts will be on the line, their careers are on the line, everything is everything because it's a movie. You can't do it out of high stakes. So there's going to be a big match and a bad concert coming up in 2 weeks. So get ready. There's a lot of cameos at this big match. You got Ric Flair, you got Classy Freddie Blassie, Bruno Sammartino. I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. They're all ringside. First up is Kicks or Kick, whatever they're called. They do a concert, and then the Cannibals get pissed. They come out, and they wreck the equipment. I think Barbarian takes the drum and puts it over his head a couple times. The other guy takes the guitar and says, I'm going to tune it up, and he smashes it on the ring mat. So chaos. For some reason, people in the stand start fighting each other because of the equipment getting destroyed. And then Piper and Tonga Kid said, oh no, and they run out with their silver capes, and they start the match, and everything's good again. Very bizarre, man. But the song that Kick plays, I don't want to overlook this. It's called The American Way. Ugh, man. So they play this song before the wrestling match, and again, I have the captions on. So the lyrics are there. They're beyond terrible. It's as bad as you think it is. I should probably look it up and see if is this like a real group, Kicks, whatever they're called. The reason why I can't remember if it's Kick or Kicks because he changes their name. There's like a point where he says they're called Kick now instead of Kicks. So I don't know what their actual name is. So forgive me because the movie confused me. But long story short, the Cannibals, they wreck the equipment of Kicks. The crowd starts fighting. The match now begins. The good guys are getting beat up. There's double teaming. All these matches, by the way, are all double teams. The referees, once again, are useless like they always are, but they're more useless in this movie than they are in actual wrestling. So there's double teams all the time. Nobody's tagging anybody. It's just 2 guys versus 2 guys at all times. The good guys finally do win, so I guess I should be excited. I'm not because the build-up to this did not lead me to have any excitement for this match. There's no chemistry between Tonga Kid and Roddy Piper. I mean, they get along, but it would have been nice to see, like, why are they together? How do they meet? How long they've been wrestling together? I don't know why they're together. I have no idea. Who are these cannibal guys? Can you show them beating other wrestling duos to make them more menacing? They don't do any of that. They just have matches against each other because Dirk Benedict said they should. This is so bizarre. So they win the belts, and then there's a freeze frame on them holding the belts and Dirk Benedict standing there, and it's just freeze frame like all 80s movies do, where it's a still shot. And then a really shitty song comes on and the credits roll. And the lyrics are once again on there. One of the lyrics I had to write down because this is so bad. It says, I shouldn't be touching you or some nonsense. One of the lyrics of the song. Why is there a song during the credits of a movie about wrestling about breakup? He's whining about some girl going off with some other guy. It's like, what does this have to do with this movie at all? None of it. And the singer's name is Moses Tyson Jr. I'm sure Senior is proud. Moses Tyson, your boy sucks. And that song is terrible. And I'm just saying, please don't do like Marvel. Don't do like Ferris Bueller. Please don't put another scene at the end of these credits. Can we just, is it over? Ah, good. It's done. All right. And I'm done. So, Body Slam. It's easily one of the worst things I've ever watched. I'll say Roddy Piper was very good in it. At times, Dirk Benedict is, funny, I guess. Tanya Roberts is there. She's not doing a whole lot, but she's there as eye candy, I guess. And all the wrestlers in the movie, they're doing what they do. They're doing wrestler stuff. Like I said, Roddy Piper's the only one that seems to have something beyond the wrestling angle that he could bring to the table. Oh, I forgot to mention, Chick Hearn is in this. During the main event, the only event, they got rid of the Harry Carey lookalike guy, and Chick Hearn steps in and starts doing the announcing. He is the longtime legend, of doing Lakers games. So it was pretty cool to see him in that. I don't know what his connection is to wrestling or whatever, or they just paid him a lot to do it, but I thought that was kind of cool to see him in there. So what do we rate this thing? All right, Body Slam, 1986. What do I call this as far as a rating? What I generally do is I rate them by garbage cans. 5 garbage cans, it's the worst. 1 garbage can means it's not as bad as you thought. This thing is pretty bad, but I'll be generous. I'm going to give it 3 3/4 garbage cans. So it's right on the cusp of being one of the worst things, but there's worse things that I've seen. I would say the wrestling aspects of it kind of helped me get through it. The music is god-awful. The acting is subpar. The storyline's lame. But, as a wrestling fan, there's stuff in it I can watch and be entertained slightly. If you're not a fan of wrestling, you will not like this movie because there's really nothing else in it to watch. It doesn't bring anything else to the table. You will be bored. So, is it complete garbage? Pretty much, yeah. It's pretty bad, but not the worst thing I've ever seen. It should be called Chokehold because it really strangled me of my time, and I want it back. There you go, Body Slam for Infinite Torture.
Complete garbage.
Infinite Banter, man, wow, what a name. I love that. Yeah, man, I've been from Maine to Spain and deep down in the Ukraine, from ocean to ocean to coast, north, south, east, and west. But one place I've never been is to the Infinite Banter.
Time for you to leave, assholes.
That is Kirk Acevedo telling me to get out of here, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Once again, big thanks to Barry Horowitz. A lot of fun talking with him, and as I said earlier, I think there's a lot more to get into, a lot more to talk about. I had a lot of questions written out, and I even told him afterwards that, yeah, man, I had a lot of questions here that I never got to. So we'll maybe one day we'll revisit Barry Horowitz and get some of those other questions answered. But just a lot of fun talking with him and just seeing his perspective, because he's coming from a place where he's a guy wrestling, legends like Hogan and Andre or whatever, and just to see what it's like from his point of view, because he's not the guy that's on the posters or in the main event, but he's a guy that's crucial to get these other guys in the wrestling business. They call it getting them over. You can't be a big star if you're not beating credible opponents. You can't have Batman without Joker. You got to have somebody, you got to have a foil, you got to have somebody that they're building up to get to the place where the company wants them to be. So the top guys are there, but it took guys like Barry Horowitz to help put them there. And those guys I feel like are unsung. They don't get enough credit. So I wanted to make sure that Barry Horowitz got his flowers, as they say. And, big salute to him. Pat yourself on the back. Barry Horowitz, you've done a great job doing what you do and talking about it to this day. And he's always been candid. Whenever you see him in interviews or anything, he'll let you know. He'll let you know about everything. And I got to get his book. For those of you who want to know what it's called Wrestling is My Gimmick, My Life on the Wrong Side of the 3 Count from Barry Horowitz. You can find it on Amazon. As I said earlier, there's a link in the show notes. Definitely go click it, go check it out. And that movie Body Slam, if you actually want to watch that, it's on Pluto TV. It's on Tubi TV. It's for free, as it should be. Are there worse things you could watch? Yes. Are there better things you could watch? Absolutely. But if you have 90 minutes and you want to watch something that takes you back to the 80s when that rockin' wrestling thing kind of was starting, which would have been like 84, right when WrestleMania 1 started, this kind of does a Hollywood version of that. This is not a great parallel, but I'm going to make it anyway. It's kind of like watching Crush Groove. It's not a documentary. It doesn't tell you all the story of how Def Jam got started, but it's a Hollywood version of how a record company started out in a dorm room and became, one of the biggest record labels of a genre that was just starting of its time. I think that's what the movie was trying to do. It was trying to show you how you could take a genre like music and you could combine it with wrestling and you can get an entire fan base from that, or a country to go behind it and just get notoriety and popularity, and it could just grow and become a big thing. And that is what happened with wrestling. It did grow from that and became arguably in the mid 80s, one of the highest grossing forms of entertainment. And to this day, it's still going strong. WrestleMania is around the corner here. So, it's, I still watch wrestling to this day, and it always takes me back to that era when I see, the old school guys. So, Body Slam is definitely, it definitely has its flaws, and it's not the best movie I've ever seen, but the wrestling matches in it are pretty good. And Roddy Piper and Tonga Kid and Barbarian, and they put great matches in that movie and make it worth watching. So go ahead and check it out. Body Slam, and you can see what I'm talking about in the Infinite Torture segment. All right, let's wrap this thing up. The Infinite Banter Podcast. Find it on all platforms. Rate and review it. Social media at Infinite Banter Podcast. Go on YouTube. Type in Infinite Banter for episodes and clips. You can see my reviews of some of the latest toys on Super 7. The sponsor of this show, super7.com/Infinite Banter Podcast. I need to do another one. I've gotten some toys or whatever that I need to do a review on, so hopefully I'll get one going pretty soon here. But that's it for me. The Infinite Banter Podcast is a wrap. Big up to Barry Horowitz. Definitely go check out his new book. Follow him on social media. And until I do another one of these, I might have to stay off of Tubi for a while. I think I'm watching too many bad movies. I'm out.
Hey, asshole, get off the road.
Being on the Infinite Banter with my man Mark has been a pleasure.